That sounds good, I think. Oh no, he's calling.
Oh, what's this now?
Philip is calling.
I'm getting some kind of video call. Wait a minute.
Shall we accept it or
Yeah,
me too? Because like
yeah. Hello.
Should we?
Yes.
Switch?
I see him now. Okay.
You seen him?
Yeah, I'm seeing him on my phone.
Can you hear me?
I'm also hearing.
Wait a second, Aaron.
Yes.
No, because Philip called us, so
Go
we
on.
have to go to him, to his channel, so to say. because I got the same call, because like he called like the group chat, I think.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you on my phone, not on my computer.
You, but I can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Because I can't hear you. I can't hear anything. There's silence.
Crazy.
It's actually jokes still. I don't know what you're saying. I can't hear.
Okay, so
all I can see is you and your mouth moving.
Yeah. Can you see yourself now?
Well, anyway, if you can hear me, you might as well just go through because I can't hear anything. So I can't be on the call with some random voice just like coming through, interrupting the chat. So I'm gonna let you lot go through, and hopefully on the next call everything's fine for my end.
Yeah.
If you can hear that,
yeah.
To everyone. If not, Ace, I'll just message you on WhatsApp.
Yeah, no doubt. We heard all that. We heard all of that. You don't know that we heard it, but there you go. But yeah, we heard that. It's like I need to be able to type it out. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. All right. Let's go. All right. Yeah. Go on. Kick us off, Mr. Fraser.
All right. Well, building on what we did last week, talking about the bottom 9 teams in the East, we thought we'd talk this week about the bottom feeders. Talk only about the teams that really matter, the top 6 seeds projected by the Vegas odds, which in order, there's Boston, then 3 games behind them is Cleveland, then Toronto, then Milwaukee, Washington, and my team, Miami, in the 6th seed. Yeah, we're going to chop it up, talk about all those squads, who we think is a little bit overrated, because I got an idea someone's a little bit overrated, one of the squads. And yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about, we're all going to watch opening night live, right? And we're going to see LeBron versus Kyrie.
Nice, yeah.
Oh,
that's going to watch that. That's going to be great. And after Kyrie's interview as well, Stephen A. and whoever that other guy Max was. Yeah, I mean, they're hyping that up. Well, I love that. I love the interview because Kyrie was all shaved up. It's like he's back Cleveland cold, so he's got that sort of like he looked a lot like Kobe when he sort of shaved and like was really pouty. Really weird. And he gave the same sort of really crude answers. But yeah, we'll get to Boston and Cleveland.
We could get into that.
Yeah, but of those 6 teams, I mean, they're all exciting teams. Yeah, I don't think everyone has to watch Milwaukee play this year because they could either be great and make that leap, but they're also because they're just so much more interesting than the Raptors. And I'd say more interesting than the Wizards. I'd say the Wizards. I was saying Milwaukee are listed as the 4th seed with 47 wins. Washington is also 47 wins. I think that's disrespect to Washington. They were like 9 games better than Milwaukee last season.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm pretty sure that the Raptors and the Wizards are going to be 3rd and 4th again this year.
Raptors, Wizards, 3rd and 4th. Yeah. I reckon. I think they're betting on Milwaukee taking that step forward, being a bit more cohesive, and Giannis sort of elevating to another level.
Well, that's the thing, because all those three teams are all returning the exact same squads, pretty much. Like, there's no big guy coming in at all. Like, I mean, there's no big guy coming into most of the Eastern teams except for Kyrie to Cleveland, because all the good Eastern players went out west. So, I mean, yeah, what you got to hope is that Giannis takes that leap and goes after what Kobe did those like challenges to other players, and Giannis was like, well, where's mine? And Kobe said, we'll win the MVP. So maybe Giannis goes out and just destroys everyone and treats every game like an all-star game. I don't know, but I think that it's disrespect to John Wall as well, who's frankly one of the best point guards in the game. He might be, depending on how you feel about Kyrie. John Wall had more success than Kyrie did without LeBron.
True.
I'd rather take John Wall on my team. If I could draft one of them, I'd have John Wall. So he plays both ends. I don't know, but
I think we will see what Kyrie has to offer right now, because now he has his own team more or less, and then we will see if he is doing good or not. But yeah, I think as well, like with Milwaukee, it's all on the shoulders on Giannis, and we will see if he can make the next step. I think he can, and he has the abilities to do it. And maybe he will make like a Westbrook season every game, like 100% or 150% more, better to say, and going for the MVP. But yeah, I think it's the East, as you said, like there were not that big changes, like if so, the big players went to the West. So it's more or less like the predictions are fine to me, but probably there will be a few changes or something like that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see Giannis playing, because last season he was very good, and more or less every season he doubled his abilities.
And listen, Milwaukee, they're serious. If they can be more cohesive, they are actually serious. They got a good, young, long team there. You know, Chris Middleton and them. I mean, obviously Giannis. If my guy, the shooting, well, he plays a three sometimes, isn't it? His name's escaping me now, which is crazy. Who they drafted last year?
The rookie,
Malcolm.
They got Malcolm Brogdon, yeah, and then they got the rookie from the year before that. Who
okay, well, there his Jabari. I mean Jabari.
Jabari, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So
he's been unlucky with that move, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean they got a good young team. They're long, they're athletic, and remember in the playoffs, I mean, they were giving us some work. They were giving some work. Trust me.
Yeah.
Like it got hairy for a couple seconds in the playoffs, just gone. So it kind of depends. Have they added anyone?
Well, no. This is their projected starting lineup, and well, actually, I'm going to give my projections. The Vegas one seems a little bit off. It's like Giannis at the 4, and he can play the 4. But what I suspect will happen is Malcolm at the 1, then Chris Middleton at the 2, Giannis at the 3, Jabari if he's healthy at the 4, and Thon Maker at the 5.
Yeah, I reckon they'll probably have fun at the 5. Remember, they got Greg Monroe and all that as well, you know.
Yeah, Greg Monroe.
And listen, man, they got Matthew Dellavedova.
They've got Tony Snell, they've got Rashad Vaughn. I mean, their starting lineup, none of those guys have got a wingspan lower than 6'6".
That's what I'm saying. That's true. They're crazy. Yeah. They've got a really long team. You know,
the thing, but it's like all of them except Giannis can shoot as well, and Giannis will just have to learn to shoot. He's got a bit of a weird form where he still sort of palms the ball. There's no gap between the palm of the hand and the ball. So he needs to get his fingers into it more than his entire palm. But he's got incredible potential, and even without shooting, I mean, LeBron couldn't shoot really until he went to Miami. So. Yeah, LeBron lost championships on the fact he couldn't shoot. So, if Giannis can be half as good as LeBron was carrying those crappy Cleveland teams for all the 2000s,
we have to remember that Giannis is still very, very young.
So, well, he's not even 22, is he?
Yeah, it's crazy, and I think like next year he will be even better, and then the next day after that it will be very difficult to even progress because he will be on such a level.
I think he's actually like 22, which means also he's not done growing.
Yeah.
Like he can still like get another inch on his wingspan.
Crazy.
Like he's mental. He's got a Kevin Durant frame, and he's also he's so humble. Like he seems like a really decent dude. And, he seems like the kind of guy people want to play with. And I like that when he played in the All-Star game, all he did was dunk. Like, didn't mess around. He just he went out and got the
he was cracking me up. He was serious. Other people were playing around. He was like, "What are you doing?" Listen, man, I'm dunking.
He doesn't get like, offensive rebounds, like throw windmills on Curry.
He was going hard. He was like him and Westbrook. Him and Westbrook in the All-Star game cracked me up because everyone else is chilling and they are not having a bar.
I think Westbrook just can't chill on the basketball court. He can't chill, especially like last season. He could not chill 1 second, and Giannis is more or less the same type of guy, I think.
Yeah. But this thing, like we're talking about Giannis as the guy in the East who could probably make that leap and become probably. He's not going to be the best small forward. That's still LeBron. He's still going to talk about Kawhi, but he could be easily top. Yeah, I'd say the third best small forward. I can't think of many better ones. But I say small forward. He's just a basketball player. He does what he wants on the court. So I was saying he's the guy with the most potential in that middle of the pack, on those middle of the pack squads below Cleveland and Boston, who can make a lead, and that's what's going to distinguish them from. So I think Milwaukee's will beat Toronto in the playoff series, even if they don't have a lot of experience. Toronto just every year lets me down. It's so boring to watch. And if Kyle Lowry can't win in the playoffs, DeMar DeRozan can't win in the playoffs. They didn't add anyone. All they did was lose DeMar Carroll.
I think the Raptors lost momentum. Like 2 years ago, they were like fired up, and right now, like they did not progress. And right now, because like it was so many times they were in the playoffs, and more or less every time they were shit in the playoffs. Lowry and DeRozan. Sometimes Laurie better, sometimes DeRozan better, but never like the two.
No, to be fair, generally speaking, I agree. To be fair, last season, DeMar DeRozan was balling.
I wanted to say, like...
but generally speaking, I agree.
Not the two of us, or two of them normally playing, like in the regular season, when they both easily add 20 plus points every game.
But Raptors, I think they're worse. I mean... What's their lineup? They got Serge Ibaka, JV, Valanciunas, CJ.
I really like Valanciunas.
They got CJ Miles.
Yeah.
And then they got that backcourt.
Yeah. They're returning the same squad pretty much. I don't like CJ might not have been on their team. I don't know if CJ was their starting three, but the only guy they added was DeLon Wright. They drafted a rookie point guard. He'll be all right. I'm sure his scouts are quite high on him, but he's not going to get minutes. He's not going to be a difference maker. This team isn't, I think, better than the Bucks. But going back to the Wizards, who always seem to get disrespected a little bit, they also didn't add any fresh blood, but. I've got a lot of time for John Wall, Bradley Beal when he's healthy. Bradley Beal last year should have been. He wasn't an All-Star, but he should have been ahead of Carmelo was an All-Star. Beal had better stats being the second guy on the team. So,
and if they can get some consistency out of Otto Porter, I mean.
Well, I was saying Otto, he does what he's meant to do really well. He just stand in the corner and shoot threes better than anyone.
But he needs to be really, for them to really do anything, he needs to be really reliable in doing that. No disappearing, you know what I mean?
He needs to be the third best player on that team every night. They're going to There can't be any debate. I really like Marcin Gortat's game. Have done ever since he was playing backup with White in Orlando. The second he left, it turned out he was one of the best players in the league. Not a transcendent player, but if you need an above-average starting center, you go get Marcin Gortat, and he's going to roll to the rim, throw the ball down. He's not going to take any shit from opposing players. He looks like a tank.
The Polish hammer.
Yeah. And this guy, he actually rolled up to the stadium in a tank one game.
He's on something else. He's different anyway, man.
Yeah,
did you see that? I saw it was that IG post about a couple of weeks ago of him going to the hotel with like 3 women. This guy's so marching Gore-Tex on something else.
He looks as well like he's on something else. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Those 3 teams, like, just to finish on the Wizards, like, they're banking on Kelly Oubre Jr. turning. Like, he needs to. That's their guy who, if he improves, then the team improves, and if John Wall takes a little bit of a step. Like I say, the Raptors, I think their best year is behind them. I don't think they're going to make any sort of noise. And then Milwaukee, like that other team in the middle there, I mean, Giannis is the one that can make the leap, and they can have that year of becoming better as a group. So of those 3, I'd probably like Milwaukee over all of them, but don't sleep on the Wizards because
the squad's all right. They've got them, like you said, they've got guys like Kelly Oubre. Yeah. We expect him to get a little bit better. And they've got other little just pieces that can do stuff at times, you know. They're not crazy, but like they've got Jody Meeks, he can do stuff, and even this dude, Jason Smith,
yeah, he's good. He's a good player.
Yeah. Like he does what he's supposed to do. Like he can do stuff. He can fill in little gaps when the main guys aren't firing and stuff. So
last thing, there are no weak cogs in that machine. Like there's no one I'd be worried about or thinking like, oh, who are they going to guard, or are they going to be able to do anything with the ball in their hands on the court? Like all these guys can either catch and shoot, or do a pull up, or get to the rim. Like, especially playing with John Wall, like it's that much easier. But like, actually, you know what? Weak link for the Wizards, their coach. I'm not convinced that Scotty Brooks is a good NBA coach. Like,
he's
fine. He's not going to get fired, but he's not transcendentally good. He had that thing when he was in Oklahoma of not quite understanding. You have both Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. One of them can be on the floor at all times. Like, you can stagger the minutes to have 2 MVP caliber players on the floor at all times, or one of them. Like, not convinced about him, but those 3. Milwaukee probably the best team. John Wall, I'd still think probably the best player until Giannis proves otherwise. Of those 3 teams, but I mean, just before we get to Boston and Cleveland,
before
your
we get
team,
there, we get there, Miami
is listed as a 6th seed, but they are. They've got the same number of wins projected, actually, as Philly and Charlotte, who we talked about last week, which I take as a bit of disrespect, because I think you don't bet against Pat Riley. Like, you do not bet against Pat Riley. He is, and the Miami Mafia. They will make wins happen. Also, they've still got Goran Dragic, who played his nuts off in the Euro tournament, so he was incredible. And, I mean, it took me a while, but I've come around to Dion Waiters. He was crap in Cleveland, but you know what? As the 3rd best player not the 3rd best player, but as a guy who knows his role with a good coach, I like him. But I don't know. Do you think Miami has a chance to sneak a series against someone? Like if they get the 6th seed, they play Milwaukee. No, who they play? They play Toronto in the 1st round. Assuming all these.
I think if it would be like that against Toronto, they would have a chance, but for Miami, everything would have to go perfectly, and DeRozan and Laurie have to suck like 2-3 games entirely, and then it is easy possible. And I think like against Toronto, that would be the best opponent for them as well, because Toronto is most of the time against better teams better, and against worse teams worse. So
but Toronto does have a habit of choking games and losing on their home court in the 1st game. Like one game goes the wrong way, and Miami could probably sneak a series of 6 or 7 games. But in their lineup, Goran Dragic, great. He's not the youngest dude anymore, but he's still really fast with the ball in his hands.
And he has a good court vision and everything.
Like, good point guard. Like solid.
I like him.
Then depends who you play at the 2. There's Dion. Dion comes off the bench in my mind, but there's Josh Richardson, Wayne Ellington, who can all shoot. All really good shooters. The other guy in the backcourt is Tyler Johnson. He has got a lot of hustle. He can defend pretty well. He's not going to defend bigger guys. He can't switch on everyone, but he's got energy and he's athletic. Then in the middle, at the 3, you've got Justice Winslow, who obviously had that injury last year, but he is. I mean, when there was talk about Kyrie maybe going to Miami, Justice Winslow was that blue chip young player that. So I think he's got potential to be a really good small forward. Again, it helps that you play with a great coach like Eric Spoelstra, and you've got good older players like Goran Dragic and James Johnson to help you along. Right? And I've got a lot of respect for James Johnson. James can do everything on the court when he wants to. It's just about wanting to.
I like him. Yeah. It's a good weapon.
They signed Kelly Olynyk, which is great. Love that. Who doesn't like a stretch white guy? So.
Oh, you can send him after a few people. Break a couple arms and stuff, you know what I mean?
But then, he's going to be that 4 or small ball 5 if they want to shoot. And in the center, I said I come around to. I'm now on Waiters Island. I haven't come around to Hassan Whiteside. I don't know. I can't decide if he's ever going to be anything.
Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah.
He's a monster though. He is a monster. He just needs to have, stuff going on around him. Yeah. And he just needs to be able to control himself a bit more.
Yeah, so I can't decide if he's a little bitch or not. Like, he always seems to be throwing fits. Like, he's boogie without the offense. Boogie also ain't much really.
But he's serious, trust me. And them the little 2-man game with him and Dragic, trust me, that's quite potent. Yeah. That is actually quite potent still. He just needs to, like I said, he needs to get his head straight. Yeah.
He
gets his head screwed on.
Miami, there's rumor that D-Wade could sign on to.
I was about to come to that, as I was going to say. Obviously, we see the whole thing of, Wade training with Bron, and then the next minute it's like, he's gone to the Cavs, and then it's like, no, he hasn't.
Yeah.
And there's all these rumors that have been around for a while of him returning and sort of doing his swan song in Miami. How it really should have been anyway.
Yeah.
Chicago buys him out. Again, I think we may have spoke about this in our last call, but you never know because it's the NBA. You know what I'm saying? But if it doesn't happen like imminently, then it's probably going to happen around the Christmas break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's half of that Wade gets bought out and then doesn't get a team until around the All-Star break. It could go back that far. And you can just take the first few months, the winter months off, and say, I'm just going to get ready, and when a team wants me. I mean, there's rumor they could go to San Antonio, and he'd be great there. He'd be incredible. He could essentially do Tony Parker's job while Tony Parker is rehabbing a little bit. And he's not going to be asked to play super minutes, and he's going to be able to defer to Kawhi and even to LaMarcus a little bit. He can play a good game with that team. Anybody can play a good game on the Spurs.
Yeah.
And I mean, D-Wade is still D-Wade. And he was getting annoyed with everyone last season about the money he was asking for. He said, at my age, getting 18, 6, and 3, those are unheard of numbers for someone my age with my miles. I was like, and yeah, to be fair, there are a lot of worse players getting paid more money than D-Wade. So, I mean,
and the thing is, Wade is gonna come through in the clutch. He is gonna come through in the clutch. That's what he does.
He's
he's one of my favorite players, man. He does that, even if he's chilling. Because I feel, we've heard that was part of the problem in Chicago. Certain guys and the young guys are looking at him like, well, what are you doing? Why are you chilling? We're practicing, and you're putting your feet up. But all that aside, I mean, he's earned it, man.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to crunch time, don't play with Dwayne Wade. He's very serious.
Yeah.
Just remember,
people are forgetting his last season in Miami. Like, he was very serious. Like, things he was doing when he was supposedly washed up. I mean, that's D Wade, man.
Yeah. No, Wade's great, and wherever he lands is going to be. He may not be a starter wherever he goes. He'll probably come off. He'll come off the bench. If Cleveland gets him, he'll come off the bench. If Miami gets him, the rumor is he'll come off the bench. San Antonio depends who's injured, but he could start at the point. Like, he can do that. Well, to be fair, he couldn't guard other point guards, but they can move shit around and have Kawhi guard the point guard, and Wade guard off the ball. So, and he won't play like 30 minutes a game. He plays 25. So that team is just so great. I mean, it's likely to be one of those three. I haven't heard the usual rumor of star player with a good marketing record going. There's no rumor of him going to the Knicks or to LA. So it's probably one of those three squads: Cleveland, Miami, or San Antonio.
Yeah, I hear that. So that being said, you reckon Miami's more or less in that sixth spot?
I think so. I mean, I think it would take something special for Philly to. I mean, Philly has the potential to surprise, but they're not going to go up there and start beating the Wizards every night. So Philly could make the 6th seed, and Miami could make the 7th. But it still depends if Duck is going to both healthy. But I think that if you look at the rosters top to bottom, there is more talent on a team like Philly, but Miami is just a better team as a unit at the moment. So they face more adversity.
They played good together as a team last season, especially in the last month. They played very good together. They did not make a lot of changes, so why shouldn't they start a good season? And then, teams like Philly usually need 10 games to get on track, or 15 games sometimes. And
Philly's great, but they've got Markel Fultz coming in as a rookie. Ben Simmons hasn't played a game. Joel hasn't played a full season. None of them have played together in an NBA game. Of their 4-man, or the Feds, they're 4 good players. Dario's the only one who's played every game or nearly every game.
Like a full season, yeah.
And that means they're going to have to learn how to play together properly against the NBA talent. And 2 of them are going to hit their rookie wall. So there will be 30 games into the season. Markel Fultz will think, shit, there's a lot of games left to go. And Ben Simmons, he's still going to come back. I mean, Ben Simmons looks NBA ready. He's tall, he's strong, he's built. He's not going to fall apart against contact, but it's not the same as being in the gym, at all. And every team is going to be locked in on that because people don't want to lose to an upstart. So, and again, it depends if Embiid's healthy because he's the difference maker. It seems to me, he's got the transcendental talent right now. Don't know, Ben Simmons could be that guy, but yeah, I think it would be disrespect to say that Miami isn't going to have more wins than them. They'll be close, but yeah.
And then they got Coach Spo as well.
Coach Spo is great. Coach Spo every year could be. Hey, you know what? With what he has, he's basically like Rick Carlisle in these. Give him a good player and some duct tape, and he'll give you 40 wins.
I hear that. Yeah. So the duel at the top, yeah?
Yeah, not the rest teams. The teams that actually matter, the teams that go to the finals.
Cavs and the Celtics. Yeah, the C's and the C's.
Yeah, do we first talk about the interview of Kyrie?
Yeah, you talk about that Kyrie, yeah? Oh my gosh. That interview to me was so many things at once. I mean, to me it was amusing, bizarre,
that was
hilarious, a bit jarring at moments as well. I mean, it was kind of crazy. The way he was, because first of all, we need to set the context correct.
Yeah.
He requested to go on that show.
Yeah.
That's the first, so they were going about their business and everything was fine, and he requested to go on the show. Now, he goes on there and he tries to avoid every single question And it's just funny to me, man. As the way he was answering stuff, some of it was just hilarious to me.
It was funny. I can't decide whether he was just being really honest and was like, yeah, this is how I felt. I thought I'd be happier here. Like, there's nothing much more to it, guys.
But he wasn't being. This is the thing. He wasn't being honest. That's the problem. He wasn't being really forthright. He was skirting around stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't being direct. He wasn't saying, you know.
I think, like, to me, it made I left the interview with the impression that he wanted to make the point clear that he left the team to be happier, to be on his own and everything, and he didn't want to talk about LeBron. He didn't want to talk about anything else, just about the fact that he just moved on, so he can. Like,
he didn't need to do an interview. He didn't need to. In fact, he actually sat in on the entire show. Yeah. He was in the studio for around like 45 minutes. He sat in on the entire show, had various questions thrown at him that he didn't want to answer, and was playing all kind of mental tricks and stuff. Like, it was joke to me. He didn't need the position that he was in prior to doing that interview is more or less the same in terms of an actual explanation. He's in the same position, so why would you want to do that?
I got two things on the interview. One, if you want to give a forthright interview, you want to talk about this stuff relatively seriously, and he seemed quite serious and calm, and like he didn't break a sweat. He wasn't like, no, guys, don't understand. He was quite straightforward. If you wanted to do that, why didn't you do an article in Players Tribune? Why didn't you go on Wodge's podcast or on Bill Simmons' podcast? Why would you go for Stephen A. Smith? Like, you know you're going to get shitty questions.
And the thing is, to be fair, Stephen A. Smith was trying to be his friend.
Yeah,
it's right.
Max was getting at him.
Mm-hmm.
Max, and he was getting at Max. Oh my days!
That's why Max wasn't allowed in the studio.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, he was proper getting at Max, but I mean, I don't know. It seems a bit. I don't actually think, being one of my favorite players, I don't actually think it was a good look for Kyrie. Like, it's cool. It is what it is, but it kind of made, like, taking it from that perspective, I was looking at him like, you're kind of like, yeah, I don't even know what the word is. I'm not sure if the word is petty per se, but yeah, it didn't leave a good taste from that perspective.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of come up a bit funny, and you was kind of acting a bit.
There's this other factor that we're not quite addressing, and let me whisper into the camera. So, no one wants to fucking live in Cleveland.
Oh, no doubt. And that's the thing. But he didn't want to. That's what I'm saying. He was being a bit shady. He didn't want to just come out and say, "Listen, it's either this or it's that," or even like Max gave him the option to say, "Okay, you know what? There's something else that I don't want to talk about, and that's what I'm coming here to say. Like, there's something private, there's something, you know what I mean, personal, I'm not going to get into, and that's that." He didn't even want to say that. He was just like swimming around, trying to be super mystical and all of that.
He was so zen. But
yeah, you know what I'm saying? He was trying to be super mystical. I was just like, oh, why are you doing this? But at the same time, to me, it was mad funny as well. Because you're kind of seeing like the journalists squirm a bit as well, because they're like, this is uncomfortable. It was all pineapples. They didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know what to do in that situation. But it was quite it was odd. It was entertaining. I give it that, which, you know, as far as First Take goes, it's never meant to be anything more than that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just entertainment.
You want hard-hitting basketball journalism, you do not go.
You're not going to go to First Take, you know. But he was super evasive. I just found that kind of funny.
But
you could have said it is what it is. You know, talk about I want to be happy and stuff, which therefore means he didn't want to continue. He didn't want to continue the line of his own logic.
Yeah.
To say that, okay, I just want to be happy, therefore that means you were unhappy. Where you were going, you didn't know, so that part's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, you landed at Boston and it was cushy, but you didn't know where you were gonna land. you could have landed in.
He could have been in Phoenix. Like,
do you know what I mean? You could have been way out in Phoenix. So that's not even part of the equation because you didn't know that. It just means that wherever I'm going to be at is going to be better than here.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's what it actually means.
I say again, Cleveland is a shithole. So,
oh, no doubt. But the thing is, I could see a lot of reasons why he would want to leave.
Yeah.
I can actually see a lot of reasons.
But he could have given some answers that everyone would have gone, yeah, I completely understand. Like, they could have said, you know what, I don't want to play on LeBron's shadow anymore. I want my own team. You could have said that and everyone would have understood and thought, oh, you know, then all the entire argument would have been, oh, so you want to be the guy more than you want to win championships, eh? That would have been the entire debate. Or you could have said, you know what, LeBron's leaving in a year, so I'm going to leave now.
And this is the thing.
You can't say that. You can't put LeBron in it like that.
No, but he'd have to say he's leaving in a year. The fact is this, the way I, like, coming from outside knowledge, I feel like if I was in Kyrie's shoes, there's multiple factors. Like you said, Cleveland. Ain't nobody trying to play in Cleveland, live in Cleveland, be in Cleveland, have anything to do with Cleveland. The only reason people even know about Cleveland
LeBron James.
When
prior to that,
$500 billion to your economy, there's an issue with your city. Like,
oh no, for real. Because I'm saying, listen, man, prior to that, if you asked anyone to point out Cleveland on a map, I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 people would be confused. And the one would be somebody who lives in Cleveland. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I understand that perspective. And I understand the whole media circus of LeBron. I wouldn't want to be in that for so many years. It's just crazy. Everything's just a big hype. Everything ends up being about LeBron. And it's not even to say it's LeBron's fault. And Kyrie did kind of allude to that, but it's just all the time, the whole fishbowl thing. And that's just crazy. You wouldn't want to live in that environment. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Going to live in...
Because in Cleveland, they're the only worthwhile game in town. The media is going to spend... All the sports media, they're only interested in Cleveland. You go to Boston, where you can deflect onto Brady, onto the Red Sox, whatever the hockey team is, they're not awful.
Yeah, it's different. That's what I'm saying. You just don't have that kind of, you know...
We've got a football team, for fuck's sake. You know,
that attention drawn to you. So I can understand that. And also, it was alluded to the sort of... it's the tentacles of LeBron as well. It's not just the immediate, it's just the type of direct, overt, and covert influence that he has over the organization through, you know, the rest of his guys, agents, just the whole nine. It's just like, nah, I don't want to live in that. And then you add another layer on top of that, which is the fact that you don't know if he's even going to be there in the next year. And the flip side of that, if he is going to be there, do you want to stay there anyway? And so I can understand how it could be timely to make a clean break. I mean, I don't actually have any, not that, just from an opinion standpoint, not that it's any of my business, but I don't have really any problem, as it were, with what he decided to do. To me, that's, I think that's fine.
To me as well, like, it's fine. It's just a decision and everything, but like,
it makes total sense.
What you said, like, in the beginning, it was crazy. He said, let me on the show, and then he didn't say anything that we didn't know already, more or less. Yeah,
and he didn't want to answer any questions. That's the part that's just strange to me. Like,
but
why would you bother to do that? Now I know that a part of that probably comes from elsewhere, because, you know, he's got this whole Uncle Drew, the full-length film coming up. So I know that somebody high up in that marketing team would have said to him, okay, listen, you need
a bit buzz about your person, so do something. And then it would be perfectly working out. And like, basketball world is talking about the interview, so they did he did a good job.
Yeah, so you're going to bring some light, you're going to bring some attention to that and whatnot. But yeah, I did find it hilarious. I might watch it back later. I thought I need something to laugh at.
As you said, like, Kyrie could have landed anywhere. He could have been in Miami. He could have been in Phoenix.
Where he landed is nice.
Yeah, well, he landed in the best possible spot. An incredible franchise, a great city, coach. And what they've got. Okay, let's talk about their roster because the lineup that Vegas seemed to use had Jaylen Brown as the 2. Like Jaylen Brown ain't playing the 2. He's a 3 or 4 or in some cases a really small ball 5. But their squad and they can move shit around how they want. There's Kyrie, Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Marcus Morris, Al Horford, Aaron Baines. That's what 10 dudes who you can put out incredible lineups all the time. There's no reason at all that you shouldn't have one of Kyrie or Gordon Hayward on the floor at all times, preferably with Al Horford whenever you can. If Tatum out there as well. Tatum, he's not going to win Rookie of the Year, but he could be the best rookie, you know what I mean? He could be the guy of all the rookies that were drafted, he could have the best career. He's got that sort of talent. And I mean, I love Jaylen Brown's game. He's great. There's something about it. He can shoot, he can play defense, he's got heart, he's young, but he's learning. And from everything else he seems to be like a decent glue guy. Whereas Cleveland has got all this weird covert shit going around with LeBron and the terror that is going on the road with J.R. Smith. Boston has got great guys and a great coach, and I mean that's the team I'd want to be a part of. So, I mean, their roster top to bottom is probably better than Cleveland's. So it depends if Isaiah's healthy, but I like Isaiah's game. But
I think
I don't know about that.
Me neither.
Hey, Isaiah is a better point guard. Isaiah was drafted 60th in the same draft that Kyrie was taken first, and I'm pretty sure that Isaiah is as good a player, if not better.
But I think Isaiah, for me, I think Cleveland with Isaiah Thomas could be better than Cleveland with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Because Isaiah Thomas last year was incredible at the Celtics, but he was attacking and 3 players were attacking him or defending him. And now, as he said as well in an interview, I come now to play with the best player, and 3 players can go on LeBron, and I will just see what he is doing then, because he can easily go to the basket and easily put up threes, and as well as the other factor, Crowder, it's some defense that the Cleveland Cavaliers need. So, in my opinion, I think Cleveland will be on the first seed in the. It depends. Okay, sometimes Cleveland, last year, they didn't seem like they want to be first. We don't care all this. That's another thing. But when we're talking about conference finals and going to the finals, I think Cleveland still is better than Boston.
Okay.
I agree. Obviously, I think all factors considered going forward, there's no doubt Boston are in a much better position going forward. There's no doubt about it.
That's true.
Right now, as of right now, and because, as we are discussing, on paper and pieces and the whole 9 and squad and depth and stuff, the Cavs are stronger to me.
Yeah,
it's hard to bet against LeBron. After 7 straight years of finals appearances, it's the odds aren't really good if they're not making it. So,
and I mean, this season now, I expect Kyrie to go off.
Yeah, he has to.
Okay,
that's fair. What does that mean, though? Does that mean him going out and getting 30? Because that's not going to help his team win.
No, right. It's not. It's not. And he has to adjust to all of that as well. As much as he's saying, and that's what I'm saying, all the contradictions that were in his interview. I mean, as much as he's saying he wants to play differently, etc., and he may well be genuine in saying that, but he has to take time to learn how to do that and embed into that system as well. So, I think that's going to take time, and they have a lot of new pieces. They're not the same team as last year. Yeah. Whereas, whereas on the flip side, I also expect IT to go fully nuclear because that's just what he does. And he's already got that chip on his shoulder, that he's had through his career due to being traded multiple times, people not believing in him, his height, everything, and then he's just devoted himself to the Boston franchise, playing games and pouring his heart out. Like 2 days removed from his sister dying tragically, then he's just traded again.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree as well.
I think he is going to just go nuclear as well. So when you add that and then you add Crowder and everything else, and the fact that, okay, they've got a couple new pieces, but generally speaking, their overall squad is the same.
Yeah. I agree as well.
Like, everyone shits on Kevin Love, but...
And I was just about to say as well, let's not get twisted, Kevin Love is not a scrub.
maybe he's not as good as Chris Bosh was on those Miami teams, but like he was the best player on the championship team. So
he's decent. And also
he earned it.
That's what I'm saying. Also, it's difficult and has been difficult for him, but think about it. In a lot of Cleveland's best games, especially we're talking playoffs now, especially later into the playoffs, Kevin Love weren't really doing that much, which means that there's room for him to do more.
Yeah, I wanted to say the same. I think he can. Now he's like, because the hierarchy was like LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love, and everybody else more or less. And now it's like Isaiah Thomas and Kevin Love. Maybe like they will have to share the second position. Maybe Isaiah, obviously, like in the last season, was better than Kevin Love compared to like what he did for the team. But I think Kevin Love maybe felt a bit because Kyrie and LeBron were creating so many shots for themselves.
Yeah.
Kevin Love did not. He can't create shots for himself that good. So maybe now with a bit different roles in the team, he can do more on the offense as well.
Well, that's the thing. Kevin Love used to make points for himself by getting offensive rebounds, but you play next to Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson, also I don't like his game. Like, he can get offensive boards, so that's taking maybe 6 points a game away from Kevin Love, just from that. But I think Cleveland, it depends on two things really. If Isaiah's hip injury is anything to be worried about, because they've got guys behind him. Like they got D Rose in a contract year. He's not a scrub. He's never going to be D Rose again, but he's not a scrub. They signed Jose Calderon, who's a serviceable floor general. Too old to do anything much, but he can run a team for a few minutes a game. And they still got Kay Felder, who, given that the ball's going to be in LeBron's hands anyway, Kay Felder's a perfectly
serviceable. You still got Kay Felder. Is he actually on the squad, yeah?
I think so. Yeah, he's on the depth chart. So he's all the way down. He's probably going to be in the. I was going to say the D League, but he's in the G League. Yeah. But I mean, the other thing though, they signed Jeff Green. Jeff Green is poison for whatever team he goes to. His teams always suck the year he goes, the year he arrives.
Well, Jeff Green's got some kind of curse on him, yeah?
Yeah. But I was saying, I quite like his game. He's got some good highlights in his career. And all power to him because he had that heart thing and he had that surgery and he came out of it and he came back to the league and like respect. But he's never shown up when it mattered. Remember, he was on those Oklahoma teams. He was in Boston for a little while. He was with the Clippers. He was in Orlando, I think. He's never been. He's got all the tools. He's 6'8". He can shoot. He can run. He's athletic. He should be able to put it all together. It just never happened. And there were rumors in the last few years, weird articles coming out about he doesn't really love the game. He's not committed to it. Which is a little bit shit because you play in the NBA, you got to be committed to the sport. But it's fine. Maybe not on that Kobe level, but that's probably a little bit unfair.
But I think for some people maybe it's really like there it's. For certain players, it's work. They go to work, and for Kobe, it's like they do the shit they love to every with every part of their body. And for some people, it's just okay. I need to work out. I need to shoot again a few threes after workout and everything. Like especially if you do it a few years. I don't know. Like then the love for the game maybe is going away if you get the money and everything. So and you don't have not the ambition to get the ring and everything. So people are different, right? So I don't know.
Let's say Cleveland's still got this great squad. Even if Jeff Green won't have to play a lot of minutes because they've still got Richard Jefferson and I mean Jay Crowder's going to play.
Gee. I hope Jeff Green actually.
He hasn't traded yet, has he? So,
who's that?
Iman.
Who?
Iman Shumpert.
Oh, what? What about him?
Well, there was a rumor that he asked for a trade and then like he squashed that immediately and said, "Nah, I have no idea where that came from."
Yeah, he needs to retract that statement.
Yeah, I think
someone pull that all the way back. Asking for a trade. What's he talking about?
He's like, he ain't good enough to go and just like run a team by himself and score 30 a game. No, he wants to play with LeBron James and go sign somewhere else. That's fine. Like, you play with LeBron James, your career is made. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. No doubt. I've got, much like last season, I've got Cavs for the #1 seed unless they don't want it.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if I want it. But I don't know if LeBron will be motivated because he's going to be pissed. Like, and this is probably going to be his last year in Cleveland. And, like, if he can go out on a high and say, "Look, I want to end my career in LA," be that with the Clippers or the Lakers, probably the Lakers, like, and cool. But I would be surprised if Boston isn't somehow still the first seed. But it'd be closer than it was last year. But I think Boston will probably get top seed, but Cleveland will still get to the finals this year, and then Boston will be set. Because this, like we talked about last week and the week before when you and me talking around, like, this is right now in the East a race to see who can be the best when LeBron beats. Like, just wait until LeBron retires time.
I can't wait for that. I mean, I hope it's not a letdown. I cannot wait for that opening night. I mean, obviously you got the whole narrative with it, but I just want to see it. Even just from a basketball perspective, I just want to see Kyrie and the Boston Celtics go up against the Cavs. It's a shame we're not going to have IT. I mean, that's going to be a shame. You know, so it's probably going to be D Rose, but I want to see that too. I want to see that happen. And I just know that the whole media circus, the hyperbole surrounding it is going to be hilarious, as usual.
Yeah, I want a proper rivalry in the East because there isn't one right now. So
yeah, I hear that. East is a bit weak. So
what, Toronto, Washington? That's been the most exciting. Like,
really though. Really though. Did you see? Okay, this ain't about the East, but in other news, did you see the whole Kevin Durant tweet thing?
That shit is weak. But fine. He came out and apologized. He did the right PR thing. He made the right move. He said, acknowledge the mistake, over apologized, and promises to never do it again. Like, that's it. No, now the story's dead. It's over. Like, he did the right thing.
Yeah. He tried to kill it, and like you said, from that perspective, But wow, what was he doing? But again, people need to start like getting their stories more believable. I mean, so do you know what happened, Jan?
Not really, no. I read something, but not in detail.
Yeah, so to kind of just give you the headlines, the punchlines and whatnot. Kevin Durant, I should frame this properly. So KD's Twitter account, put out some messages basically saying, in response to people like getting at him, trolling him, etc. I could look it up and read the actual message. But you know the same old criticism that he's been getting. And he just said, listen, man, he wrote on the account, so third person, he didn't say I, he wrote, he didn't like it in Oklahoma. He didn't like the organization. He didn't like the coach. He couldn't win with the team. Who are these guys? It was only it was only him and Russ. Like, there's no way he could win with these guys. They're terrible, etc., etc., etc. Right?
Okay,
But the whole thing is, what's dodgy about it is that it's written in third person.
Yeah.
So like he's saying, oh, he couldn't do this, he didn't like that, but yet it's coming from KD's account, right?
Yeah, okay.
So then the whole theory behind it is that what you really tried to do and what you've been doing this whole time, is setting up fake accounts on Twitter so that you can answer your critics and act like it's some anonymous person, basically, and actually speak your mind and speak the truth and, get at your former teammates and OKC without it looking like it's you, which, I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Man,
so,
it's really crazy.
And it's like, you thought last year Oklahoma versus Golden State was a fiery game. Like this year, like I don't know when their first game is, but there's going to be a lot of back chat between the teams. Because you know what? I never really liked Enes Kanter's game, but he's been all up on defending Oklahoma, and he doesn't take no shit from KD anymore. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that as well. And
Paul George can be like, well, I don't really have a dog in this fight.
But then the thing is, it's dodgy as well. So those tweets went out, right? Saying he didn't like Billy Donovan and the roster was crap and all of that. And then they were quickly deleted, but somebody did a screenshot of
obviously.
them. It's just like, come on, man. This is so dodgy. And all of these...
1 second to put something out on the internet, somebody, not from me, of me, maybe, but of Kevin Durant,
that's what I'm saying. It's out there, right?
He not have his 2 phones. Like, he must have multiple phones, and one of them just be my dicking around on social media phone as other people. Like, and had you not label that phone as the don't tweet as you or?
Yeah, but what he's done is he probably he's got both accounts and he's going back and forth, right?
Yeah, that's dumb. That's the dumb way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. But then he's claimed in his statement that it's not a different account. It just kind of looked like it was that, but it wasn't, which does not explain why you would all of a sudden start referring to yourself as somebody you don't know in third person. So then he's gone, he only just woke up after he fell asleep watching football when he posted the tweets. Yeah. So he doesn't remember what was said and how he said it. He just forgot everything else. He was only focused on, don't do that. You see, that's why it becomes a problem. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's just not, but you just sound crazy now. That's not believable. Or you have multiple personalities, literally.
Yeah. But to me, that sounds crazy. If KD really wants now to say that OKC sucks and everything, why is he telling now? Like now, nobody cares more or less anymore about KD and going to the Warriors. Now it's like it's the last season. Nobody cares more or less. Obviously, when they play against each other, then they will put all the old stuff again. But it's an old topic to me, at least, and I think
that's water under the bridge, man. But that's the whole problem. I think with the whole KD thing, he keeps on reigniting the flame. Yeah. It's finished, it's done, but I think that's possibly because
because he did not get the recognition for winning a ring or what.
But he was never going to get that recognition.
No,
First thing, he should have more respect for himself. And every time someone
he doesn't, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? It's one of those things where somebody's trying to convince themselves. It's one of those situations. Yeah, otherwise, why keep talking about it? Coming up, you saw his shoes, right? He brought out his new shoes, and inside the sole, or on the sole of the shoes, his new shoes that he just brought out, it has written all of the criticisms of him, like, oh, you're on the bandwagon, blah, blah, blah. That is written on the sole of his shoes to kind of say, yeah, I'm stepping on my critics. Why are you doing all that? It's over. It's done. You went there. You won a championship. Yeah. Go and drink champagne. Like, what's your problem?
Yeah, I think...
LeBron did it right. You're the villain for one season. You decided it's a shitty way to live, and then you just go play basketball better than anything else on the planet. It's that easy.
Yeah.
It's over. No one gives a shit anymore. Yeah. Every time someone tweets at comes around saying, "Oh, you're going to leave that team," you should have sent him a screenshot of him with the Finals MVP trophy and a ring, And that's it as well.
And the fact is, this is the whole thing. That's his argument. That's his rebuttal to any criticism. But that actual response, first of all, to many people is kind of like of no consequence, because it's like, well, yeah, you were going to win. You went to a 73-19. Like, there's nothing special in that. That was more or less a foregone conclusion. That's the first thing. But secondly, it's like that same rebuttal, he doesn't believe it. Otherwise, why would you keep bringing up the issue? Because like you just said, Julian, just retweet a picture of you with your trophy. That's it. It's a wrap. I haven't got nothing to say to you.
Just delete your fucking Twitter account.
Nah, he ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna do that. He's loving the tweets out here, but it's just like little meaningless entertainment while we wait for the real action, right?
Yeah, so wait, how many more days we got until the season starts?
I think 30 days. At least till my Minnesota Timberwolves are playing. Against Utah Jazz. Against
are you gonna get a kit? You seen their kit that looks like this, right?
I will get.
Have you seen it? Sure. The kit. The kit's like this color, right?
Yeah. I will get. I like it. I will get that one. I get the others, and I will get on new gear that season, I think.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, Jamal Crawford, maybe, and who else is convincing me next season?
I mean, Carl Anthony Towns jersey, surely, but yeah. Well, some of Miami jerseys look alright. I don't know.
No, listen, man. The new NBA jerseys are fire. I like a lot of them.
Me too.
And not only that, I was just talking earlier to my next friend. The hoodies are fire. Have you seen the hoodies?
I haven't seen them.
Oh no.
Post them in the group, please.
Yeah. I'm getting some of that apparel.
Yeah,
listen, man. I need some of them hoodies, and like they had the you might have seen the video. I think I posted it in the group, or maybe not, of the unveiling of all the new kits and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're all wearing like black hoodies, right? They've got the team logos on them, but they're all black hoodies, looking like hoodie mellow basically. And then they take them off like a Superman thing, and then they got their kits underneath. But they've also got hoodies in the colorway of the teams, and they are fire.
Nice.
I'll send the link. I'll put a link in the group.
Yeah, perfect.
Later. That's hard. I need some of them hoodies there. Just hope they ain't gonna try and break the bank on me. You know what I'm saying? You know what?
Since it's all Nike, you'll be able to get it on Oxford Street, right? So should be able to. Right.
Yeah, no doubt. But cool, man. That's wrapping up the East. We're gonna go over to the West.
Yeah.
So when we next jump on the West is the West is a lot more interesting.
In the middle, isn't it? There's more.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to kind of get into, to tackle in the West. There's there've been a lot more movements and stuff. The East, for the most part, has kind of stood still, aside from the whole Kyrie Irving thing. So,
and as you said, like getting IT and Jake Crowder for Kyrie, that's sort of like for Cleveland. So, like, Cleveland's probably going to make it back to the finals, and we'll get into next week those squads down the bottom of the West first, because there are some really interesting teams there. Because new moves where like T-Wolves should make it. Like,
my Wolves.
Oklahoma, they made the playoffs last year. Now they got Paul George, and like he could guard KD, so he can guard anyone if you want to. He's not better than Jimmy Butler, but I think. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting moves out west to talk about. But we'll get on that. Well, same time next week or Tuesday next week.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll put it a date. Get on next week. Had a couple of regulars missing this week, but it's all good. I know Kevin would have wanted to talk about John Wall and the Washington Wizards.
I was thinking, like, when we started the talk, like Washington Wizards, and I was listening. I had like Kevin's voice in my head. John Wall.
I know you would have wanted to talk about that, but it is what it is. Yeah, man. I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, see you.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, man. Cool,
See
man.
you guys.
Adios.
Adios.